Hello, adventurers, and welcome to Grognard and Friends, where friends gather to explore the world of the Aria and play Dungeons and Dragons. And speaking of the friends, let's check out this week's episode of Grognard and Friends. Hello, everyone. Before we get started, just some quick announcements. Nikita Cheryl will not be joining us this evening as she is traveling, and I have a little bit of a cold, so bear with me if my voice is not up to snuff. Let's find out what the friends have been up to. And I believe, Butt Trumpet, I believe it is your turn to let us know what came before this evening.
Yes. So, after coming across Mr. Goodtree and his skin, we made our way over to Mama Tars to see if she could answer any questions. Unfortunately, she wasn't of much help due to, being impaled on many gnarled dark branches that were erupting out of her house. And in an attempt to pull her out and relieve her pain, Talia ended up disemboweling her by accident.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
This didn't look too great to the guards that started noticing that we ended up being in the same places very bizarre and graphic, brutal murders took place. So, knowing we could be of no further assistance, potentially making things worse, we started off into the woods and made it to the fall on our way to the Yaga, the Baba.
And Mamatar was treed. We had Goodtree that was de-skinned.
Mm-hmm.
Then we left. Hopefully not to be blamed for any of the problems.
Probably the topic of gossip, though.
Oh, most certainly.
I heard she was pooping acorns.
Perhaps they will just determine that we were really, really good detectives and we found the murders that have just been eluding everybody else in town.
Yeah, that's it. That's what happened.
Yeah, mobs think rationally and act with thought.
Yes.
That's what they're known for.
We don't like what we don't understand. In fact, excuse us.
Or they're in on it.
So you have spent 2 days riding your horses, being led by Talia into the woods. And during the course of this, Nikita is kind of blown away by the greenery and the change. You get the feeling that maybe Nikita has really never spent any actual serious time in woods, definitely not for any prolonged period of time. Butt Trumpet seems equally in awe of their surroundings, because Butt Trumpet, you realize that you've never actually been in a forest or in woods. You've spent all your time in cities or in towers, as it would be. And just the wealth of greenery and the fresh smell and the occasional sense of flowers that you get on the breeze is just absolutely amazing for you and just absolutely beautiful.
I wonder if they make a scented candle at this place.
So, but Trumpet, were you raised in Seven Rivers?
Oh no. Mamulian lived farther away. He would often, I believe, meet up with Alistair at the university. It wasn't
Yeah.
until I started working for Alistair that I spent time in Seven Rivers. Otherwise, I was kept in the basement.
Oh, well,
Oh.
that's unsettling.
Yeah, I've been traumatized too.
Apparently, everybody has, to one extent or another. I'm feeling actually kind of like untraumatized compared to everybody else now, I guess.
It's not a contest.
Well, you know.
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay.
What?
I mean, weren't you in
I'm pretty sure
basically
you can
like
win
a
in life.
Jonestown?
I'm a what now?
Weren't you basically in a Jonestown?
A Jonestown.
A cult.
Are you talking about the abbey where we grew and grapes and made wine? It was more of a vintner than anything else.
Never mind, I must have misunderstood. Anyway, what else is going
I
on?
can prove it. Here's a bottle of our Kool-Aid Cabernet.
Oh, no.
Ecto Cooler Merlot.
It's
Ecto
green.
Like every good wine.
Yes.
Mm.
Ugh.
Reed, you this is really nice for you, although you're always a little suspicious of anything. But
Of everything.
Anything and everything.
you riding through the woods on the horse is, you know, the lights coming through the leaves through the canopy of the trees. You get the smell of the flowers occasionally on the breeze, and Talia has been a huge help to you. She has introduced you to a number of berries that you can eat, and even more importantly, prevented you from eating other berries that she said would have made you very sick and come down with a really bad case of death, I believe was the one thing she said that you might get. So,
I would like to avoid those, yes.
yes, some of them were very pretty berries, but Talia let you know that that would be a very bad idea. But instead did show you a number of berries that you could eat. So you've been kind of feeding your face with berries as you go along.
Okay.
But other than that, it's just you haven't had anything trying to kill you. There haven't been any naked old smelly men standing on your chest in the middle of the night staring down at you.
Which is good.
And everything's actually been really, really peaceful. So this has been a very good experience for you. Guys, yes.
If I can, while we're traveling, I will gather good eating berries.
The good berries.
The good kind. And I will secretly stash away some of the bad berries, too, in a
Okay.
separate pocket. Yes.
You remember,
For accident-
red and sweet are good to eat. If it's yellow, let it mellow. I might be getting things mixed up.
Yeah.
Well, just
Yes,
in
you
case
are.
we need to offer any berries to our enemies.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of
If I could wink,
subtle-
I would.
Yeah, got the
Maybe
point
Baba
across.
would like some berries.
Oh, that'd be so silly if that's how it happened.
New
only
cereal,
that- What
happened?
Bobberry.
Well, the Baba ate Reed, and he had those poison berries in his pocket, and apparently they were allergic, like real bad. So
Mm.
Who would have thought that's
You're
all
dead.
it took?
Yeah.
That was like so easy.
and then I just cut.
All-
and then
all I had
cut
to do was
Reed
get
out of the body.
Oh, God.
No, he's fine.
They
Good
vomited Reed up, and it's like the sewers all over again. So, Gaius, you
Mm.
this has been a really eye-opening 2 days for you. You knew that you kind of have really kind of not enjoyed your time in Seven Rivers. Your relationship to cities is something that
Flashing
you.
back to all the horrors in a montage.
There
And I
you
look around
go.
first, I'm like, okay. Yeah, this. I want this.
And you've definitely realized that cities are not your jam, as it were. You also realized when you were in Stoats Hole, you didn't really like that either. It was kind of nasty there, and then you came to Seven Rivers, and it's a village. You're
Forest Grove.
finding that you weren't liking things too much there either, and you're beginning to question that maybe it's not the cities or the villages that you don't like. Maybe it's people.
Oh,
why-
we've been
This guy's looking
I've
at
been
me funny.
interacting with certain. I know I have been interacting with a certain class of people, so that is understandable.
Yeah, it's almost
Again,
like
this guy is looking at me funny.
in a way you've been talking to the exact same person over and over again.
Hmm.
Ooh, burn!
Don't know what
I
you
don't think
mean.
Buttrop is going to be
Eldred
surviving.
says, "Whatever you're talking about, Gaius." And Talia says, "Come on, let's just move it along."
What does Nikita
Yeah, this is getting
say?
really meta.
What does the key to say?
And Nikita says, "I
Duh.
don't like horses. My butt hurts." Placebo.
Placebo.
Gesundheit.
Uh,
Oh well.
Hey.
Yeah. You know what, Reed? You are right. This air is refreshing. It should be made into a scent and put on like a little like piece of paper that like maybe
you drop on your tongue?
what?
No,
No,
never mind.
Eldred, what party drugs are you on? No, I was talking about maybe cut it in the outline of one of the trees and then you can like hang it from something and let the odor
Ooh.
mask
Ooh, you can
the
put it in
other
your
scent.
carriage.
Yes, exactly, because those things get a little rank from time to time. Always walking in mud.
If you can do that, Gaius, I would like one to put in my clothing.
I too would like you to put the smell of the forest in your clothing. In fact, that guy's just like reaches up and like picks a couple pine needles off. What kind of trees are around? Is it pine?
There's a lot of birch. There's some oak, occasionally some maple, but they're few and far between.
Okay.
Occasionally a small little grouping of pine trees.
Yeah, when Gaius passes a pine tree, he definitely removes some needles and just like mashes them up and just kind of like smears it on Reed. And like, there you go, bud.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, that's better.
It smells good.
Yes, that's what you should aim for.
Mm. Maybe we could find soaps that smell like this too.
There were. You just refused to buy any.
Oh. Well,
You were too busy shoving pastries in your mouth.
And pockets.
I couldn't
Yes.
possibly afford soap. How much is the
Yeah.
cannoli?
Yeah.
are there any like animals around at all? Do we see anything?
You see a fair number of squirrels and chipmunks. Talia points out a deer at one point, but it's in the distance. And
I thought Talia left us.
not yet.
Oh.
Not
Okay.
yet. It probably is going to. It was the end of the day as you reach the fall, so Talia will probably spend the night with you and leave in the morning. So, speaking of the fall, it's quite unlike. It seems very simple, but yet it's also quite unlike anything you've seen before. It's about 30, 40 feet high, and basically it's a cliff for as far as you can see in the forest going in both directions. Where you've gotten to is a point where there seems to be a little bit a little bit of a valley within this cliff, and there's a number of stones and wood that is kind of drifted in, which seems like it would make it a lot easier to climb up. Now, what makes this unusual is it just feels like a huge pile of trees that have piled up 30, 40 feet high for as long as you can see in either direction. And then all the spaces in between them are filled in with this very dark soil. Everybody can make me a history check or a nature check. Your choice. Just tell me which one you've made.
I am equally awful at both.
Yes. My character was done.
I went for 10. I got a 10 on history.
Okay.
11.
Gaius?
Hold on. Having a moment.
No problem.
Rolling nature. 17.
Okay. Gaius, this kind of looks like when you've heard about avalanches and mudslides and things like this, you feel like this, if there was an avalanche maybe on one of those mountains, this could be the result of it, because it is just, there's obviously trees that are just piled up on it. It's not stacked like wood. It's whole trees that were obviously pushed together and down, and the soil then came and filled it in, and just this is where the end of that avalanche ended. And from looking at it, you can tell that this has been here a really long time. Matter of fact, a lot of the wood at the bottom of the fall, when you go over there, and I'm assuming, do you collect wood in the evening for fires and things like that for dinner and such?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Especially like if through traveling through the day, he'll make a habit if he sees like a good collection of dried dead wood, we'll collect that, because sometimes that can be harder to find depending upon the area. So
okay,
it would make sense if he saw that he would want to go over just for convenience sake.
Okay. Well, you notice that at the bottom, like the bottom quarter of this cliff,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the wood looks, well, it looks different. And when you go up to it and you actually try to break off some branches and such, you realize that a lot of the wood on the bottom quarter of this cliff is actually petrified. And you do know that for wood to become petrified, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a very long time. But Trumpet, with your history check, you don't know a lot, but what you do remember that Alistair shared with you was that the obliteration happened in the West. And it happened in the far West in what he said is now referred to as the Bone Desert.
Do I remember anything about the Bone Desert?
Just that it's called that because it was kind of ground zero for where the obliteration happened. And it is thought that the sand of that desert is made up of bones.
Okay.
Sounds like a pleasant
Well, that's
place.
unsettling. Well, Talia, I don't know if you've heard anything. Do you know anything about the history of the fall here? Like, is there any local legends or history
She says,
you're aware of?
my father avoided talking about it, and just I was just told to stay away from it, and anyone who goes past it will not come back. My father said he didn't know of anyone who ever came back who went over it.
Unsettling.
Yeah, we're on a roll
something-
here.
Well, something massive had to have happened to cause this. And seeing as this wood is petrified, this is maybe Witch War kind of timeline that this occurred, perhaps?
But Trumpet,
I
you know that the obliteration happened way before the Witch Wars.
Wasn't the how long ago was the Witch Wars?
Somewhere between 800 and 1,000 years is the estimation, because it's a period called the gloaming in which things are very hazy. For what time is weird in that period of time, that there isn't a lot of definitive history at that point for some reason, which is very odd.
So you think these trees have been here for like 1,000 years?
Well, maybe so, I don't know about the petrified ones. The damage of the landslide, I guess, is probably the best thing to describe this as. Something maybe shook the earth or hit the mountain that caused a lot of the loose soil that was sitting on top of the rocks to kind of flow like water almost and bring the trees.
Could I run an Arcana check over it?
Sure.
Yes.
Guys, why is
Never mind.
why is talking about a opportunation or whatever that is? What is that?
Obliteration.
Obliteration. Listen, I have read books, but let's just say my Abbey was kind of super specifically focused on a few things.
Like wine.
I've like wine, yes. Granted, like some of the stories I had were more myth and folklore than necessarily like histories. I've heard of that term, but it's more of like the setting of a story, like way before the time of the Oblivion or whatever, or just after it had happened. As far as I know, that's what you use in a term for like a story, like the time before time, almost before recorded history. At least when a person's telling a story. History-wise, I am not sure. That is more Eldred and Butt Trumpet's probably area of expertise than mine.
Eldred
Without
says-
looking up, Bud Trumpet lays up for a high five from Eldred.
He gives it to you.
Smack.
Do you think they're going to explain stuff to us if you don't know? And I
Oh,
don't know?
certainly not. Well,
Okay.
I mean, they could. If they feel like it. I mean,
Eldred
I could
says
just
the
make it.
obliteration is kind of the period in which time has been thought to have started for us
Oh.
and the people of our age, as it were, because no one knows what happened with the obliteration. And it goes, no one's even sure when the obliteration was. But basically, this age began when the effects of the obliteration finally ended. And that was a few thousand years, supposedly, before the Witch Wars.
and yes. So looking at this, some of the like stone trees, petrified wood, if you will, is. Well, I wouldn't say happen unless it could have been crazy magic that caused the wood to like petrify quicker. But usually this is like it's a very slow process from what I understand. It takes much longer than just 1,000 years or more.
Oh.
Time immemorial, is that a thing is that a concept you can get?
Nope.
Time out of mind. So far,
Oh.
so long ago, bacon didn't exist.
Ooh.
The first pig for the first bacon didn't exist. Get
Oh.
that?
Were there people there too?
Eldred
with their
says the official term is TBB, time before bacon.
For bacon, yes. Well,
If you look in the history
depends on
books
all the
and it
cal-
says TBB, that's what it's referring to.
yes,
Now I
and
know
we're
if I read a history book, I'll look for that.
yes, and that's why we're now in the TAB on the calendars, time after bacon.
Oh, well, we
Tab.
still have bacon though.
Tab,
Yeah.
yes. Not just the delicious drink, also the calendar marker.
Which was ended with the Witch Wars, I believe.
Yes.
Um,
That's when Tab disappeared.
Yeah.
That's when Dab left the world and the magic was gone. But some say a new flavor has been born. This is all folklore and history and stories I speak of.
Folklore
None of
we'll
this is
stick with. We'll stick with it being folklore. And legend and mythology and
yes.
BS.
Copyright.
Guys, the other thing you notice is in the past 2 days riding through here, which has been very, very difficult because sometimes the trees are very thick and close together, so it's been a little slow going at times. There have been points where Talia has pointed out like a den, maybe a den that might be for foxes or something, but there would be like a hole in the ground that for where some animal lived or something like that. And you notice that the color of the soil was a rich kind of brownish soil. Where it was dug out maybe a little lighter than a little further in, but still was kind of that beige brown kind of color. The color of the soil on this cliff is very dark. It's almost bordering on black, kind of like if you've ever seen licorice mulch.
So it's a rich soil, not and moist. I would assume like it was a very like this is growing soil. Is how I would look at it, right?
You would think.
This is some good land, like great land, in fact.
Except for like the curses they keep talking about.
Oh, curses. I mean, I can bestow curses. I mean,
Eldred, do you think some of this dirt would be good to use for spell work?
You make dirt spells?
I mean, sometimes a particular bit of earth is very helpful and beneficial to the effectiveness.
Eldred says, normally, I mean, I don't know a lot about gardening. There wasn't a lot of gardening in my upbringing. I mean, I've had my face rubbed in dirt a lot, but not usually in the face.
yeah, that was shock to find that out.
Yeah, imagine
I know
my
that.
surprise.
I know that feeling.
There you go.
Same!
But normally I would say, yeah, Gaius is probably right. But from all the talk of whatever is going on past this and your mention of that bone desert being somewhere in the west, which is obviously past this, I'm just going to kind of hold off on taking any of the soil because the change is kind of drastic, so it makes me wonder.
I want to try my Arcana check again, but this time on the dirt.
Okay.
And while they are
Try
doing
one more
that,
time.
I'm comparing the soil sample I took to the soil. I gotta turn the volume down on my headphones.
Anyway,
Before we get to that butt run, what were you saying, Gaius?
Oh, I was comparing the soil samples that I took from the one dead body, because remember there was streaks of red and
Right.
black and brown, and I thought it was dirt, so I took some samples of it. So I'm going to compare it to where we are now while they're doing their
Okay.
check.
Butt trumpet.
you!
You get a feeling that from looking at this and from your studies with Alistair and what he said, he pointed out to you that the Bone Desert is in the west on the other side of the vast Black Mountains and the Black Hills. And you saw the mountains when you were approaching Forest Grove. You know, you're not great with geography, but you think it's probably a very good possibility that these might be the Black Mountains. And if they are, Alistair had told you that the Black Mountains got their name from the fact that the fallout or the result of the obliteration was so extreme that the mountains took a lot of this magical force and destruction and basically not only scorched the entire landscape, but changed the very makeup of the mountains themselves. And thank goodness for this mountain range, which is vast and deep and goes kind of very far north and very far south. Thank goodness for it, because it protected a great deal of the area from being totally wiped off the map.
I relay all of this verbatim.
Well, okay. I mean, this sounds like it because if I remember the directions we got, once we go past the falls, we walk straight toward the hills. So if there's Black Hills near the Black Mountain, I think we're where that is then. So that's okay.
But Trumpet, you also, from the conversations with Alistair about this, when Gaius tells you about this mudslide that's like an avalanche sort of thing, he had mentioned things like the force of the obliteration was so strong that it created a lot of things, and you think you remember him mentioning that like huge mudslides and avalanches and the such were part of this. When the mountain range received such a force on the other side, it really created this just unbelievable destruction that was greatly lessened by the barrier of this mountain range. So
I again relay the information verbatim. All this hard work I'm doing.
You're exhausted, Butt Trumpet.
Phew.
Well, okay then. All right. This is good. Well, I guess we keep going, right? Or what time of the day is it?
It's like the end of the day. It's like the sun's going down.
Okay.
Hmm.
I guess Tali, you don't want to go past the falls because then death and destruction will follow upon you. So I guess we'll set up camp just a little ways back from it, just to make it comfortable.
Okay. You go about making camp and doing all of that, and someone roll me a 20-sider, please.
I got it.
You got it.
But do you got it?
I
think
think
they
I
have it.
got it. I rolled it. I got a 19.
Okay.
Woo!
That's either good or terrible.
Yes, could be awful. Who knows?
Okay, what's
Only
the
We have
order?
angered the dirt with all of our analysis. Here it comes.
As someone with poor eyesight in the dark, I would volunteer to not do it in the middle of the night.
Do you need like prayer time in the morning or something?
But I pray all day.
Mm.
As he takes a swig of wine.
Eldred says, "I'll go last so I can study."
There you go.
I can go in the middle of the night.
I guess I go first. Unless
And-
Nikita can take a watch. That's up to her.
Nikita will take a watch. You just tell her when.
Middle of the night, Nikita, you can see in the dark.
Yeah. Why don't you go after me and
Superpower.
then Butt Trumpet in the middle? Yep.
So Gaius is first, and then Reed.
As the two party members, well, aside from Eldred, who have no dark vision, that probably makes the most sense.
Okay.
Sure.
And then is it Butt Trumpet or Nikita?
Nikita.
Nikita, butt trumpet.
So I'm in the middle?
You're just
No, you're
second.
second.
Oh, second. Okay.
Yes. Nikita's middle.
Okay.
Butt trumpet's second middle. Eldred's third middle. Or as I like to call it, the end.
There you go.
I'm second first.
Yes.
Okay. Gaius, your watch comes by without a problem. you're just breathing everything in and going, this is pretty great.
This is Bacchus. This is living right here. I could do without all the snoring, but aside from that, this is fantastic.
Nikita
assume it sounds like-
lets out numerous snores and bodily functions and stuff as you.
I wasn't. Whoa! I was not saying Nikita. I was implying the entire party has that problem.
Well, Nikita is the loudest snorer in the group, and that's never been disputed. And Reed, then it's your watch. You make it through your watch without a problem. Although it's just like you do feel like that cliff is just like almost leaning over you. It's so tall in the middle of these woods. But the woods have been pretty great so far.
We're that close to it, though?
You're not right
sort of
next to her. You've pulled back a ways, but I mean, the thing's about 40 feet high. Butt trumpet, Nikita wakes you up. It's your turn for your watch. And she seems a little weird. Not like bad, but just like something's bothering her.
Did something happen?
No, nothing happened. Just, did you ever get the feeling that you're being watched?
All the time.
Just not. I don't usually get that, but I don't know that. I don't like the dirt. I don't. Bad feeling.
I'm not surprised, what with all the history behind that. Okay, well, I'll keep an eye out.
Good luck. And she makes her bed and sleeps in it. It's quiet. You don't really hear anything except the occasional call of a bird. But what Nikita said kind of sticks with you a little bit. Kind of about 2/3 of the way through your watch, you find yourself looking about and you have to do a double take because you get, for a second, you thought you saw somebody standing on top of the fall. And it was just like a silhouette of darkness. And then when you looked back, it was gone. And you're like, it's probably just my imagination. There are trees up there, obviously. Maybe that's what I saw. And then your watch comes to an end, and it's Eldred's turn. So you wake up, Eldred?
Eldred? So, listen, when Nikita woke me up, she kind of felt like she was being watched. She felt uncomfortable with the dirt. And on my watch, I didn't really hear anything, but I thought for a moment that I saw someone standing at the fall.
Oh.
It was only for a moment, but be aware.
Great. Okay. Couldn't have said that, there's extra cake in your pack or something if I get hungry.
If there was, I'd tell you.
Oh. Oh, cool. Okay. Well, that makes things nicer. Good night.
Did I hear cake?
And it's morning. The sun breaks through the canopy of the trees, and
I felt great. Oh, this nice loamy soil just feels so good on the back.
I dreamt of cake.
Oh, also totally spaced out. I wanted to double check. I pulled the sample of soil I had out from the murder scene, and I'm kind of like comparing it to the dirt here.
okay.
Like tap it out, pour it in my hand, and like take a scoop of the other stuff, and kind of like
It's muddy like the soil that you've seen traveling to this point.
mm-hmm.
It was kind of like now it's dried dirt again.
Mm-hmm.
But the color is very similar to the dirt of the area.
Well, Reed, your midnight prowler friend may have been walking around in this particular soil.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
And just to be
Oh,
clear,
maybe
we're
we-
talking about the beige brown mud as opposed to that of the cliff.
So
Yeah, not the good, dirty dirt, not the black dirt, but the brown dirt.
Correct.
So the good news is we're heading into a territory where he may or may not have been recently, which
Is
is
it?
something we should note. While we found streaks of, well, we found streaks of dirt on the bed of Mr. Goodtree, which is comparable to the dirt that is back toward Forest Grove, and less so here in the fall. And I can assume if the Black Hills are so named for the same style of soil, this will continue on for a while. Whatever it was that was visiting you, at least wasn't
Mhm.
traveling this far back on the regular. Unless it flew. It could fly. We did find a feather. I wonder if it's a flyer.
Are you trying to scare me more?
No, I'm just. I'll be quite honest. I am perplexed and kind of excited to see what it is.
That makes fun of
Not
us.
in its naked man dude.
Talia
Version.
says, well, I need to get back and check my traps, so good luck. Don't hold a lot of hope for you, but, well, don't die. So
Oh, well, thank you.
I'll
You-
see if you
don't
make it
die
back.
either.
I hope we see you again.
Bye. Don't be hung for witchcraft.
Stops and looks at you and kind of tilts the head and says, I'm not the
That town-
spellcaster.
I know. That was. Your town's full of bumpkins. It's a bad joke. Good luck.
Good way to end things.
Yes.
You know, with a definite feeling of,
I think we left a good impression on her. What do you think about Trumpet?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's never going to forget us.
No.
I think she liked me. She showed me Barry stuff, so
Aww.
so Talia starts heading back.
Never to be seen again. Or seen again. Who knows? Why
So
am
what
I
do you do?
narrating this? Oh,
Keep on trucking?
let's continue on.
yes. Oh, Reed.
Do we?
I think
Yes.
I was thinking, now that we're away from like towns and everything, remember all
Yes.
that cool stuff we stole from the wizard? Remember the stuff we took? The wizard stuff we stole.
Which stuff?
Like the magic cards.
No,
crap.
wizard, not witch.
Yeah. What? Did we steal
Yeah.
stuff from a witch? Wait, hold on. How much have we? Who
don't
have we taken stuff from? No.
Did
Damn
I
it.
did I take stuff from the wizard?
Oh yes, we most certainly did.
You took stuff
I mean,
from a gnome.
Gnome. What gnome? Were you stealing stuff from gnomes?
Wasn't Bartleby Nickleby a gnome?
Did you steal stuff from Bartleby Nickleby?
No, I just
Reed.
broke in the window. I just broke in the house.
Reed.
I didn't steal anything.
He is a very nice person from the one time I think I met him.
And he forgave me. It's all okay.
No, good. No, I'm talking about the other one. The other time, the other wizard tower we were in. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got the dragon gold. This dragon gold right here. I pull out the dragon
Oh,
gold.
Oh, you still have it. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to ignore that for the moment. Piffing around in the middle of the woods and it's not
We'll unpack that later.
And
no,
Butt Trumpet,
what
you
was-
see Reed take out 5 what look like exceedingly old gold coins. 5 of them.
I'm just
Oh
glad you
my
haven't
goodness.
spent them on bacon. This is
I think
poor
they're-
purveyors of pork that will be roasted alive by dragons later.
I think they're lucky. It's okay. I think they're lucky.
I pray that's how that works in this world. Pray for that. No, what I was thinking was, remember the last time we were in the woods, away from people, and we could safely experiment with some of the stuff we found?
Oh, like when we were near the Fiddler's Rest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking tonight when we stop, or maybe the next night when it feels appropriate, break out this deck of cards and give them a go. What do you say?
Sure. You want to play cards?
They're mag-
Wait, do you think?
Yeah, they're magical in
They-
nature. I have no idea what they're going to do. We're going to find out.
Oh, maybe they'll help me beat you.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I won't cheat this time. Put them back in my pocket.
Wait, you cheat?
Maybe just, not with you.
Oh, okay.
I cheat for you.
Oh, okay.
Remember
That's
all
good.
the times we bet on things and then we'd win?
Yeah.
Definitely had a helping hand from Bacchus.
Okay. Yeah, I'll play cards with you. Sure.
Okay, yeah. Just figured I'd give you that's what I was thinking. I've been tossing around the idea, but I didn't necessarily know what they were going to do. And I was tempted to do it at Mr. Sunnyday's establishment. I won't lie, just to see what would happen. But I'm not that much of an a-hole, so I figure Woods is probably a good place to do this.
Do you still have other stuff from the Wizard's Tower?
Oh, yeah, I got a bunch of crap just rattling around in here. I like reaching in his bag, just shit banging around. It's like, no, that's cast iron pan. Nope, that's not it. Brooch, 3 seashells. I gotta remember to use those. Put those back in. I have a few things. Hey, you use that sweet magic key that we got to very good use. Definitely opened a portal to something.
Yeah.
Which I wonder, because we kind of just left that open in Seven Rivers, if that's going to be a thing.
Well, the key disappeared, so I don't know how to lock it again. So.
Oh, it's kind of fused in there, so it's just kind of permanently open.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if having an open door to a place like that would have negative ramifications in the long run. We're not there anymore.
What if everybody in Seven Rivers is replaced by like evil versions of themselves?
I'm almost certain I wouldn't know the difference. That town is terrible.
But the Stone's Throw was so great.
Stone's Throw is good. Yeah, no, it's okay.
So many good meals. So many good
I did it for a lark and a laugh. Stone's Throw. It was good people. There's good people in the Seven Rivers.
Yeah.
I just didn't care for it much. I won't lie. This is sewers that I think broke me, to be quite honest.
Mm. They were the smelliest of smelly.
Oh, weren't they?
Yes.
I think I've read like the dead body that was just sort of disemboweled was a less bad smell than the sewers were.
Eldred says
who-
it's in the name. You can't act surprised that the sewers don't smell nice.
But who else would expect half of the city to be covered in a stink cloud
That's a
There's
whole nother
monsters
thing,
in that.
yeah.
with monsters in it?
There's also that feature. I can't wait to go to the next city and see what awful thing makes that bad.
And all those
Don't go to the
pooping
west side of
horses
town.
everywhere. Yeah.
Everybody's on fire. What? Yeah, they're just ignore it. Why?
It's funny. I had some really fun memories of Seven Rivers from a few weeks ago, but now that you mention it,
Were most of them
I still like the
eating and
food.
being drunk?
yes, definitely.
Okay, well that's fine. Yeah, I mean that was solid.
That and when we teamed up with
Glorious. Bree,
Glorious
or we got Viv.
Viv when we teamed up with Viv to
Viv
take
was
out
there.
those halflings and rescue Butt Trumpet. That was great.
Yeah, she was good people. I hope she's doing okay.
I fell off a roof.
And
That was
all-
great.
Yes, and you splattered a man like a water balloon.
And it made no noise. That was so neat.
Yes, magic is neat.
Hmm.
And that's what I'm hoping we'll get with these cards. Hopefully, something neat and not
Very good.
horrifying.
What was that?
Eldred
I
says
said we need to get on the road.
Okay.
Eldred
I'm
says
really
that's what
good.
the university's whole advertising campaign is. Come
Neat,
to the
not
Arcane
horrifying.
University. Magic is neat.
Yes.
Not horrifying.
Ignore the horrifying part. Ignore the horrifying bits.
That was edited out during like one of the versions of the campaign.
A marketing campaign.
Yeah, right after the first one that was Arcane University. Drink your face off, spend your parents' money.
Arcane University.
Magically.
Don't go into the forest where there are definitely monsters that will eat you. Also, if
That didn't get
for
through legal.
punishments, we will. Also, if you are late to class, punishments do include us sending you to the forest to hunt wild animals that are killing other animals.
Eldred says,
So that's only
duh.
that's only for the first. That's only for the first years.
right.
Those they're like
Yeah, it's
12, who
hazing.
cares?
So you've eaten your rations, or what have you been eating, by the way?
Oh, I'm full of berries.
so- So we have had the standard rations that we had bought. That was for the trip back
Right.
from Forest Grove to Seven Rivers.
Right.
So we're just using those and
Okay.
planning
So
on
you-
stocking back up at Forest Grove.
No problem. You
Or just lots of stoats. So many stoats we're going to be eating on the way home. Only stoats.
Hi, I'm Gaius. Try the new stoat diet.
Do you like my new fur armor? It's all stoat.
I'm listening to the new musicians, Hall and Stoat.
I enjoy a good stoat when I drink. It's like, it's stoat goes good with a stout beer. I don't know if you heard that. It's good. It's a good
Oh, I
combo.
never
What's
had
the-
a Stoat Stout.
A stoat stout? Oh yeah, it's kind of greasy and thick all at the same time.
Gross.
Mm.
Every
Yes,
meal is stoat.
it is.
For breakfast, stoat meal.
Stoat meal.
Oh God.
Okay, we killed Paul.
You
That was
killed
all
him.
for tonight, folks. We killed him with stoat meal, apparently.
Tune in next week. Remember, as always, be kind. What
Just don't be assholes. It's basically the word.
Oh,
Don't be assholes.
oh God.
What the fuck are we doing?
Well,
Oh, we ate
We're
rations and now we're getting our horses.
right. You're getting on your horses, and you are on the back of the two horses, looking at a 40-foot tall cliff in front of you.
What are we gonna do? Like ride around it, type deal? We could do that, right? I don't know. I'm trying to picture what's. is there
This
like an
cliff
app?
seems to go for as far as the eye can see in the forest, both directions, north and south.
Eldred, can you make the horses fly?
Oh,
Sure, if we can get them
called it.
to the top of an inn.
Oh,
I've seen a hunter of monsters do that once, called Geralt. Sorry, for the video game reference, and I apologize.
I get it.
Anywho, so I guess for visualization, is it just like a drop from where we're standing? Is it a drop down, an up, or just kind of like a
Oh,
canyon
it's
almost?
like you're at the base of it, which is why you
Yeah.
were able to see the petrified part.
Uh-huh.
You have to go 40 feet up.
and it runs as far as we can see, left to right.
Yep, and you got the feeling from Talia, it goes like both directions, really, as far as she's ever
How's-
been.
How steep is it? Is it
It's pretty sheer.
vertical or
It's sheer and it's complicated because it's like all this wood and all these trees that just kind of collected as they're all knotted and it's all filled in with this black soil.
So how do we get the horses up there?
Well, that's an excellent question. Balls. Let's
I could
see.
climb up there if you think I should tie a rope off or something, but I don't know how.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
I'll pull. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I hold on. Let me reach into my bag of crap. Yeah, there's definitely a block and tackle in here somewhere.
So much
Standard
better than a
adventuring
bag of
gear.
holding a bag of crap.
That's
It was one of the
Bag of
magic
junk.
items you found in the sewers.
bag of junk drawer. Let's see what I got in here. Masking tape, not as good as duct tape,
Ooh.
but that'll do.
Okay, I'm utilizing the magical bag of crap. Okay,
Yeah.
roll a 20-sider to determine what type of crap you pull out
Yes.
and how much.
I hope it's good crap. Oh.
I hope it's not giant skunk crap again. That was horrible.
Well,
You don't even have to roll for the fact that you're really going to have to come up with some weird, amazing. These horses are not going to climb this cliff.
Oh balls. Okay.
Maybe we should ride along.
You
it
know
and
what?
see if
All
we
right.
find a way up.
You know what? Can we retcon something real quick?
Sure,
Because
depending.
if we knew this was here in front of us,
Uh-huh.
we'll rewind to the morning before Talia left.
Okay, so
And I
I'll
said
say you
awkward shit.
you
Be like,
rewind
"Hey,
like
Talia."
20 minutes.
Hey, Talia, horses can't go up that, right?
Duh. I was wondering why you were bringing them, but I figured that's your business.
Okay. We take our shit off the horses. Talia, could you take them back to the... Yeah, butt trumpet.
Wait!
Waiting.
I wanna try one of my new spells.
Oh, dear.
You can make the horses fly.
Well, not fly.
I put my hand on both horses and just whispered to them, Tosh, Betsy, I will miss you. Go ahead, butt trumpet. Add that.
I pull out my
Take all
little
the valuables off them.
my little jar of spiders. I've
What
been
are you
working
gonna
on a
do?
spell called Spider Climb. I can make a creature walk up angular surfaces.
This is blowing my mind. And it's also going to be creepy as shit watching horses climb like spiders.
Oh my god! Wait, can we ride them while they do that?
I
This is
wouldn't
so neat.
recommend it. Okay,
Wait, are they
Okay,
are they gonna
so-
grow 8 legs?
so can you do this to both horses, butt trumpet?
I'd have to cast the spell twice, one for each horse, because each spell is for one creature.
Okay, yes, I'm not familiar. Okay, so this is the plan. We got to have somebody up top, and maybe we use the like rope as guides for the horses to spider climb. How long does it last?
I volunteer to go on
Up
top.
to an hour.
Yep, an
Oh.
hour.
Looking at the mountain, if a horse could climb like a spider, would it take an hour to get up that?
Shouldn't be that much of a problem. The only thing in the spell that would make me wonder is the phrase "one willing creature."
Got any sugar cubes?
We need a horse whisperer.
Well, I mean, okay. So if we want to take the horses with us, we'll say, Reed, you are our most nimble person. You can climb up with a rope
Yes.
to assist everybody else.
Yes.
And if spider climb works on the horses and they're willing, they can go up. If they're not, or it doesn't work for whatever reason, Talia here can take them back to the stables so they don't die.
So butt trump,
Wait, what?
butt trumpet, are they gonna grow 8 legs?
No, we're not gonna
Oh,
get
dear.
Sleipnirs.
Oh,
Norse mythology
Good.
joke. Question: Would twinned spell work on me casting it once? Because
Yes.
that would double the amount of targets.
Absolutely.
Cool. Saves me a spell slot. All right, we let me do this.
Yep.
yes. Let's get Reed up top first to make sure.
Yep.
Do I have a rope, or do you have a rope? Or do
Yeah, we all have rope. We all have 50 foot of rope because we're adventurers. And if you didn't, Gaius bought you 50 feet of rope and shoved it in your backpack without you knowing.
Okay.
Because he
Cool.
refuses for people to be ill prepared to go. Also, guys
Very
has a 10-foot pole that is just whipping around like an aerial tied to his backpack.
Where's that been?
It's always been here. I just haven't pointed it out.
You like hit the doorways every time you go through.
It also doubles as a fishing rod.
All right, I will climb up and lower rope down if you want to tie it to a horse or two or both or whatever.
All right.
Do I got to make a climb check?
Yeah, give me a dexterity check there, Reed.
Alrighty.
And for you, take it with advantage because this would be.
Not the greatest, but a 13.
Okay. It takes you a little longer because, like, with all these branches and logs sticking out and stone and everything, you thought, oh, I'm going to be able to fly up there. But a lot of the wood that's sticking out from the cliff, when you step on it, kind of crumbles in places. Because it's, like, just rotted there. And so it takes you a little longer to get up than you expect. But you do get up there. It just doesn't, not as quickly as you thought. You thought you were going to be able to just kind of hop up there without a problem.
So just so you know, everything's a little crumbly. I look
You
around.
ready?
What do I see at the top, by the way?
We'll get to that in a second.
No immediate danger, right?
You know what? Everyone else take the headphones off.
Oh boy.
I just want to make sure there was no immediate danger there. That's all.
Okay, you don't see anything living, but you do see trees. And you see the ground. The ground's on a slight incline. It's the trees that catch your attention. They're different. The bark is a lot darker, kind of like a charcoal gray to black. The trees are kind of gnarly and twisted and seem to have these bulbous tumors all over them of wood. There's a lot of broken, jagged branches, a lot of regular branches there's a lot of branches without leaves. But when it gets up higher, you assume the leaves are green, but they're awfully dark, and the canopy seems very, very thick. So once you get up here, once you start heading towards the forest, it looks darker than down below.
We just, I guess, attach the leads to the horse to the rope and use that as a guide.
Okay.
Okay.
The horses
think,
kind of seem to pull their head back a little bit, like looking back and forth.
They just, just.
Sound more like Foghorn Leghorn.
Oh there, you got this.
I say, the horse up the cliff.
If there's something right at the top I can tie my end to, I do that.
Yeah, there's plenty of trees and stumps of stuff. It's like this seems to be where the final resting place of a large movement of earth and everything was. And there's at the top of it, there's all sorts of stumps, and if you go a little further back, there are trees and everything. You've got plenty to choose from.
So I tie it off so that I don't get yanked off the cliff.
I get my spider, and I roll it into my hands, mumble some incantations, and do we have both the horses tied up?
Yes,
Or just one?
both.
Both? Okay. I gently place my hands on both of the horses and cast Spider Climb.
Okay.
Which one got the spider crushed on it?
Both of them, like I crush in both my hands, along with a drop of a thing I can't pronounce.
Vitamin.
Thank you. Bida.
Yes.
Vitamin. Bita.
Exactly. So,
And the horses kind of move in place a little bit, kind of raising their head up and down a little bit.
how about both guys
guide-
and I also guide them toward?
Yeah.
the cliff?
It's yeah. Oh there. Oh, yeah. You know,
At first, they're a little uncomfortable, you can tell, and standoffish. But when they realize they don't really have a choice, they start going a little bit. Very, very uncertainly.
I'm treating them like cats from the top of the cliff. I'm like, come on, come on.
The one starts kind of going and like looks over its shoulder at you like, what are you doing to me, making me do this?
ah!
And then pretty soon it's kind of, well, vertical, and it just continues to go, and it's kind of like, and there's one point where it looks over its shoulder and then just freezes for a second.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Where's your sense of adventure?
Keep going. Keep going. Reed's over
I
there.
give I'm giving gentle tugs. Come on, come on.
Okay, give me a an animal handling
Holy
roll
shit.
there, Reed.
Holy shit, this is like working, and no one's growing any extra limbs. I really
17.
expected Sleipnirs.
Excellent work. I'm really glad you didn't murder the horses.
So Reed,
Thank you,
you
thank
give a
you.
little pss, 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 and a little pull, and that
Uh-huh.
particular one just kind of shakes its head a little bit, and then just starts going up, and then at the very top, it getting over the edge seems to take a little bit. It's weird. It's like it has to go down on its knees on its front, and then just the back hooves are kind of infant
Yeah.
pushing to get its horse's ass up over the edge. And
Wow.
as that's happening, the other one starts going a little bit, and starts off slow, but seems to get pretty comfortable,
That's Betsy. She was always the braver of the two.
and then just starts kind of going up at a much faster pace. And as it gets to the top, it kind of gets up to where its back hooves are on the edge, and you see it kind of, it looks like it's rearing up until it kind of goes down, and then it flutters the back hooves and continues forward. So you're at the top now with two separate horses kind of like just standing there, and their eyes are really wide.
I lead them away a few steps away from the edge, and
Give them sugar cubes.
I only have berries.
Don't give them the wrong berries.
Please, I'm so happy that this actually worked. It would suck so hard if they died right after this.
You all get to the top, and the horses are dead, poisoned.
What happened? They died of fear, I guess. Anyway, who's up next?
I'm gonna like pet them on the nose and try to get them to calm down and get them close to like a tree where they're standing normally. And
Now, do we want to throw another rope down, or?
I'm just gonna tie them to the tree with a very short rein so that they don't
Okay.
go far. And then whatever rope I got left, I'll throw back over for everybody. So.
Okay.
It's like 2 feet off the cliff. Bit far away. Don't know if we could reach it.
You could maybe throw me more rope if we need to.
You took all the rope. We
Nope.
gave you all the rope earlier.
Nope.
You have all the rope.
Dang it.
Here, I'll use this grappling gun I picked up at the local purveyor of random shit I bought.
You shoot me with a Batman weapon.
It's a Bacchus. It's a Bakken weapon, all right?
How do I put this? No.
Bakken. Yeah. You can't tell
Do
me
I-
this
do
is
I have
all
enough-
imaginary.
Do I have
God
enough rope to
calls
throw back
bullshit.
Not my god.
It's all imaginary, just like this grappling gun that you seem to think you have in your hand.
Anyway,
Grappling gun man.
grappling, yes. Limited run. Anyway,
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna climb.
Okay. Somehow you Reed you get a rope up to Reed. Reed ties it off, and who's next?
I would send
Butt trumpet.
Nikita.
Do you want to
She's
go with
strong.
myself or butt trumpet?
You
Butt
mean you
trumpet.
were
Do you want?
Eldred?
Yeah, no, or Eldred. Oh, Eldred, he's here too. I was going to say, Nikita and I are two of the stronger, and you use strength to climb. So I just figured we'd be one of the ones you would want to team up with. Butt trumpet.
Sure, I was figuring, magic user strong person. So
Hmm?
how about I go
Yeah,
with
what?
you? Eldred goes with Nikita.
Have Eldred hold on to Nikita.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you know what? I want to watch this. Go first. Breaks out of
There's a period where Eldred's
King of
kind
the
of
Hill
like
style.
trying to wrap himself around, and Nikita is standing there with this look,
yes.
just kind of.
This is what I live for. Stupid shit like this.
I called down from the top. Eldred, can't you make yourself fly?
No, he can't. He's lying.
I can only make others fly, and that it requires a
Make me
high
fly.
promontory. Promontory.
That's not.
I don't even.
He
I don't even
says,
know what that is.
A high place. It was a fancy word for place.
like the top of an inn or something. So Eldred sees Nikita's face and goes, "Okay, I'll, yeah." And he goes and just starts climbing the rope, and it takes a while, and he's kind of going from stump and tree to stump and tree, but it takes forever. But he eventually gets up there
By himself.
by himself.
Okay. And did Nikita come up?
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
She next. Someone roll a 20-sider to see how she does.
I'll do it.
Not good. It'll be you to blame.
You were saying?
Yes,
She,
you're to blame for them successfully ascending.
there's a couple times where her stubby legs have a hard time kind of getting up to the next one, but it takes a while, but she gets up there without a problem.
All right. You ready?
You ready? Oh, yes. I am ready. All this calisthenics going to pay off.
Got a piggyback?
Oh, yeah. Just, oh, yeah, well, here. This. I got my bag of, I guess this would be my bag of butt trumpet.
I'm so hesitant to get in it now.
But there's nothing else in it. It's for you to get in. It's got straps so you don't
Yeah,
Before
but
you hop
called it
in.
your bag of butt.
trumpet.
Before you hop in, make
Why
sure you
is this
sniff.
weird? This is your name.
I awkwardly climb in and nuzzle into it.
There
Just
you
these
go.
ears are sticking out the top,
Yeah.
and
It
Little
Yeah, the
Basically-
drawstrings get pulled.
Yeah, they got like no. It's more a Yoda and Skywalker kind of moment here. All right,
All right.
gonna use my athletics to climb. Let's do this.
you using the rope?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, lightning isn't gonna strike twice if I do spider climb again. We know that.
No, we don't want to see guys with a.
It'll be the fly up in this
Oh,
bitch.
do I just become Spider Gaius?
More like Doc Ock.
That's not bad either. Athletics check, go. 16.
Okay. You get up there, kind of solidly but very carefully.
I'm in armor. I have another person strapped to me. The best part is I'm not tired. That's why you should wake up and do calisthenic, kids. Oh, also, yeah, there we go. Excellent work on the spider stuff. What the hell
Uh,
did you see, Reed? Or Reed, describe to us in your own words what the hell we're looking at up here. 'Cause we
Oh,
weren't.
well, as you can see, the trees are very foreboding. Am I using that word right? They
Yeah, you
are
definitely got
much darker bark, and the leaves make it look like nighttime as we go into the trees here. And
it.
there's lots of like jagged branches, so we got to make sure we don't impale ourselves with the horses.
Mm,
And yeah, generally looks like a very, very creepy forest.
excellent. All right.
Sweet,
Cool.
sweet. All right.
Cool beans.
Mhm.
So, Spider Climb, that was an excellent spell, Buttermint. That's a good one to
Thank
have.
you.
The horses are like pawing at the ground strangely, so you might can you make it stop, or does it just keep going for a while?
It's gonna probably just wear off on its own. They're probably just freaked out by having to even do that.
Yeah, I mean, you could whack a butt trumpet in the head and if break their concentration. Certain spells require concentration. If you get hit really hard, you lose concentration. I tend not to use those spells at all.
I'd rather we didn't whack me in the head. For
Nope, not gonna
concentration.
hit you in the head.
I just came
Yeah.
back to that.
I thought
We were trying to figure out how to calm the horses down.
so. I offered to punch a butt trumpet in the head. No, not really. No, at which point, Gaius goes over and gives some treats to the horses, just either sugar cubes or pieces of fruit or vegetable that he happens to have in his pockets for this reason.
Okay.
Good thing I saved some berries because this forest doesn't look like there's going to be any berries in here.
Oh, Reed, just remember which ones you have in which pockets.
Oh, I know. This one is the good berries.
Okay.
The other ones I'm hiding away in case I got to give
Okay.
them to bad guys.
Yeah, make sure you don't give them to the horses
Smart.
either.
You look around. Up here, it is vastly different than the woods below. The ground is dark with ground cover that just looks like it's kind of. It looks wet or something, like it's been wet a lot because now it's all very dark. And the ground is a little moist. And earthy and loamy and it is that dark, close to black color of what the side of the cliff was. But it's the trees that really kind of make the impression on you. They are all different sizes, but they all look kind of twisted. They're at odd angles, and they all seem to have these like bulbous tumors all over them. And a lot of branches coming out that just seem kind of sharp and jagged and very few leaves on them that branch off into little smaller ones, but the canopy, which is up very high, is very thick and very dark, and one of the things you're noticing is there's not a lot of light coming through up here. Matter of fact, it was a lot brighter down below than it is up here. And there you can see in the different directions that there's a lot of vines and everything that are kind of knotted up in the trees, and sometimes between the trees there's a lot of these vines and vegetation that has just kind of created large patches, almost like vegetal walls between trees on occasion. But the ground has a very slight incline as you go forward. So is there anything else you'd like to do?
Well, this is ominous for a forest. Can I take a look at the lesions or growths that are on the trees? Are they growths of the tree that are just distorted, or is it something?
Yeah, it's the tree has grown these bulbous masses on all their sides amongst the branches.
Have I seen anything like that before? Is that a
Roll me a nature check, please.
Okay, nature it is. I'm okay at that. I am apparently okay at that. Yes, I am nature boy Gaius. Yes, this is not probably something I've seen before.
You've seen kind of a little bulbous thing on a tree here or there, in your days, but never. This is like every tree, not every, but most. I'd say 80% of the trees have these things, and there's a
And it's
lot of
not
them.
you.
There's big ones, there's smaller ones, there's huge
Okay.
ones.
So it's not uniform. So there's like a natural pattern to the growth, if you will, but not necessarily.
It looks
It's not
odd.
like
And
everything's growing at the same height, the same
no,
size.
not at all. And the trees definitely vary quite a bit,
Hmm.
but they all have this dark bark that's like bordering on black. It's kind of like a very dark charcoal gray. You also, when you start heading over towards them to investigate these like tumors, you
Yeah.
notice that the roots, there seems to be a layer of roots right at ground level. They seem to be a lot longer and a lot more twisted around as well. So the ground is a mixture of this black soil and like a interconnecting lattice of these roots.
I
Oh,
keep a good eye on the roots. I want to make sure they're not like moving.
Okay.
Just quietly whispering for your blood.
That
Say,
or
"Oh,
snakes. Snakes.
Yep. Problem with what's? Do you have a problem with snakes?
What, you like snakes? I hate snakes.
They're animals. I don't have a problem with most animals, to be quite honest with you.
But they bite. And they're not like, you can't pet them. They're not like they're.
Yes, you can.
You can?
I mean, you could pet anything if you try hard enough. Just try not tried hard enough.
I've never.
Don't pet the ones with
Try-
the things that rattle on the back, though.
Every time I've seen a snake up close, they open their mouth and they have really big teeth. So, I never tried to pet them. And I've heard that when people are sleeping, like sometimes they wrap around them and like squeeze them to death.
So you're. Oh, I was going to say. So you're afraid of the floppy rope friend that gives you hugs? That's what
Reed's
snakes
afraid
are.
of intimacy, is what he's saying, says Eldred.
Yes. Listen. I understand completely. I lost the woman I love as well, and intimacy is hard for me now too.
I think
But
snakes
don't get
kill
me
people.
wrong.
That's what I mean.
People kill people. Everything kills
that's true.
people.
That's true, but you can talk to people. You can't talk to snakes.
People can talk to snakes. I saw a guy with a pipe play to snakes, and it did a dance, and it was very entertaining.
Well, maybe if I was a wizard, I could talk to snakes too. But
Maybe you too. Eldred, can you talk to snakes? Do
Oh,
you have that?
some of my best conversations have been with snakes.
I'm sure they were, because you mostly just talk to me, so that's another dig.
That's kind of what we're talking about, isn't it?
I'm a snake. Oh, you son of a bitch. Anyway. Let's go into the creepy forest. God, wouldn't it be ironic if someone was eaten by snakes tonight?
do we like have an idea of how far we gotta go?
To the hills. No.
Are we just totally exploring? Like we don't really know too
No,
much.
no.
do we?
So across the river, we cross the fall, walk straight at the hills before the mountains, stay away from the reeking swamp.
Okay.
So
I hope it's like a
mountains
pleasant
are-
cottage.
I'm sure it will look like a pleasant cottage at first. It might even look like it's made of candy.
It's a bed and breakfast
Ooh.
there, Reed,
Oh,
says Eldred.
Which were you more
She
interested in?
Airbnb's the
B&B or the candy part?
yes.
That
Bed and
tracks.
bacon.
Candy bed and candied bacon. Let's be real.
Ooh. Now I want to.
Actually, sounds pretty good. Yeah,
This could be a pleasant trip.
it could. It has been up and actually, it just has been. It's been a pleasant trip. since we left Forest Grove. You know how many
Oh,
dead
Eldred
bodies you've
says, I was
seen?
going to say.
What?
I mean, a couple days ago it was horrible with the the skin and
I literally said it's been a
the
pleasant trip
the branches, but yeah,
since we left Forest Grove. There was a
that's true.
modifier to my statement.
That's true.
I know sometimes
So
I
past the fall
pause
and through the trees.
too long.
Reed, you're thinking a house made of candy sounds pretty sweet.
Oh,
No,
definitely.
no pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
Pun absolutely
Right.
intended, and we know it.
I want to train a snake to come in and eat you at some point. And can't wait. Not
Eldred
you,
just
Reed.
kind of looks at you and goes, "What?"
Yes. Death by snake. Slow death by consumption.
So past the fall and through the woods to Baba's house we go.
Yes. We do
As
that.
you start walking into the woods, Eldred turns to you, Reed, and says, "I hope you're realizing who your real friends are here." And continues on.
Yeah. It ain't Eldred.
I'm so
He keeps wanting to
confused.
push you off. He keeps wanting to push you off roofs.
To teach you how to fly. I would never want to feed you to a snake. That's not something friends do.
You notice how he keeps telling you he will teach you how to fly, not that you will be flying. He chooses his words quite carefully.
Eldred looks at you, Reed, and says, "Potato, potato."
That's not how he will break like a potato when he falls to the fucking flagstones.
So you travel into the woods.
Yes.
Into
So,
the woods.
for reference, before entering the woods, where's the mountains? Like we've crested the fall.
Well, you can't see the mountains because the canopy of the trees is so thick. But you have a decent idea of what way to go because there is a slight incline to the ground.
Okay.
So
then we follow
as
the
long as
incline.
you continue to climb upwards, you should
Is
be
there-
fine.
Is there any kind of path at all, or is it all just
Not at all.
we gotta?
Yeah, there's a foot path that the local Girl Scouts take to sell cookies to the Baba that we find.
Little blue sign
I was-
that says food and gas next 5 miles and gives you a bunch of inns and
Ugh.
taverns listed.
They're gonna charge out the ass. I know it.
I was just thinking we should probably
Watch
leave
the
the
horse feed
horses.
prices. There's inflation
don't-
going around in this area.
We don't want the horses to impale themselves on any sharp branches, or we should be careful.
Yes, we'll take our time. And I cast light on the horse that's in the lead, and now it
Okay.
glows like an angel.
Okay. It's in the shape of a little pointy horn on its head.
You know what? I don't know if I can do that with light spell. Butt Trumpet could certainly do that with dancing lights, but I could not. I think I could just make the horse glow.
Okay.
Like
A
the
so
different
horse
color.
Oh yeah, I definitely make the horse glow like hot pink though,
okay.
because
So
right,
you've got a hot pink glowing horse taking the lead.
yeah.
The other horse
This guy-
kind of keeps looking
My
at
favorite.
it and like looks over its shoulder at you guys like you don't speak horse, but if you did, you have a feeling that that would be what the ever loving fuck.
Don't worry. Your turn's next.
The eyes are just huge, you know. And it continue.
hush.
It goes a little faster that way. As you continue through the woods, it gets darker because the trees seem to be a lot more of them, and the lack of uniformity also continues. They're leaning in all different directions. They're twisted and just very unnatural looking. The tumors continue all over them. Some trees have more than others. There's, the trees come in all different shapes and sizes. Some are a little stubbier. Some are a little fatter. There's some thinner ones that are very tall. One thing is uniform, though. there seems to be at the base of the canopy almost like an invisible line. Above the canopy, there's a lot of growth and a lot of cover so that very little light gets through. Below that, you see very few leaves. They're here and there, but very few. It's getting a little difficult to walk at times because the roots are getting to be quite a bit, and you're also, at the further you go, you're starting to notice these black vines have kind of twisted up around a lot of the trees, around the roots, and just out into the ground in all directions. So there's a lot of these thick and thin black vines that are also kind of becoming a lot more common and a lot more making the trek a little more difficult.
I point to them and I'm like, that's where the snakes would hide.
Eldred says that's a very good point.
Yeah, well, luckily it doesn't seem like we have drop snakes here, so that's good.
You also notice that some of these vines can kind of hang from branches, and at some points where it's almost like a cross between these vines and ground cover that kind of grows up them is creating these masses of vegetation. Sometimes like a wall, sometimes like just a huge mass of them. Sometimes you can see through them like it's almost like netting. Sometimes it's a lot thicker and just feels like knotted growth of all sorts of things. It's slow going. But you're making progress. You're getting through here.
Gaius, do you think this is like bad magic that made this trees like this?
Well, it's like Butt Trumpet said. Her master told the story with the oblivion or whatever.
Obliteration.
Yeah, attrition. Yeah,
Obliteration. Right? Yes, that one. That the mountain took the worst of it, but there was still kind of like spillover, magically speaking.
No.
So I don't know if that act of magic isn't necessarily evil. People who use it's a tool. You can use it for good or evil to a certain extent. Now there might be stuff that is inherently like the power that is that magic might come from an evil source. So technically, but I had the impression that the event, the obliteration. Thank you, Bacchus. The obliteration kind of was magically neutral, I guess, is the best way. It was just a big explosion, which, yes, sounds terrible, but it wasn't necessarily like good or evil from the stories, I guess, is the best way I can compare it.
The stories that you've heard is that what you can pinpoint and nail down is that no one has any clue what the obliteration was, just that it was devastating. And basically, life had to restart again ages after the obliteration.
Yes. For example, I know not necessarily Balkans, but other religions believe sometimes in cycles of life. So that might have been the end of one cycle and the beginning of another, which isn't necessarily bad. Some people don't like change. In fact, some people hate change. But guess what? Shit changes. They're just going to have to deal with it. But so that could have just been the change, and it's not necessarily inherently evil. Now, granted, this forest is creepy as all get out. So there could have been magic here, and then something could have influenced it to make it darker for whatever reason. For example, nature isn't evil. It's kind of neutral because, things grow, things die. That's just the nature of things. Like these trees that grew here, the reason why it seems so creepy down here, because the strongest thing was trees that grew leaves at the height and blocked the light to starve everything else below so they could prosper. That's why it's so creepy down here. And the only thing that could survive are creepy vines that leech the life off of the trees that get all the sunlight. To answer your
I'm on
question,
the tree, in the hole, in the hole, in the bog, down in the valley.
yeah, it's I'm hoping that this is kind of like magically agnostic, neutral kind of stuff, and not under some creature like heaven forbid there's some kind of like woodland spirit that decides it doesn't like people in control here, because then we're boned or treed. We might be treed.
Eldred says, "Didn't
Oh man,
you
we
say
are
that?
so treed.
Isn't that what you? How you described what happened to Mama Tar?
Yeah,
I don't want to be treed.
I neither nobody.
I do
Well,
not want to be
I'm-
treed.
listen, I don't want to speak for everybody. 'Cause everybody's got their thing. But I would assume the vast majority of people don't want to be treated.
Nikita says,
Nope.
"I don't want to be treed."
No.
Ziba.
And I hope there's not like another. I hope there's not like another ovulation. You know.
What? Excuse me?
You know. The big explosion thing or whatever.
Ah, oh, yeah. Me too. Anyway,
Anyway.
now that you've brought this up, guys, while we're
Eldred says, "You
continuing-
know, like history says, our age didn't start for like thousands of years until after the ovulation."
Yeah, so while this
Yeah.
banter is going on, Geist is casting Detect Magic just to see if there's inherent magic that is around us. To make sure we're not walking deeper into a very evil magic forest.
Okay, so when you normally detect magic,
Yes.
specific things glow brightly, sometimes different colors.
Depending upon the school or type.
Right.
It varies.
Right. Depending on the sort of magic that it is. You find that, Butt Trumpet has a little bit of magic. Eldred has magic. You have magic. Nikita has a little bit of magic. That glows brightly. And then you think that's it until you focus a little bit more. And then you realize that everything else around you kind of has the slightest glow. It's ever so faint. And it's black. And it's just like a faint aura around everything around you.
Oh, shit. Okay. Good news, friends. This is a magic
Good
forest.
news, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
And it's good magic?
Well, oh, no. That was the only part that was good.
Are we
So
gonna
let's
get
carry
treed?
on. What? No,
Are we?
the magic is all around us, but it is not strong, if you will. There's not a lot. Like, everything's got a hint of magic.
Nothing
I
to
look
worry
at
about, Reed. When I was trained as a wizard, I was told magic is all around us. You just have to tap into it.
I look at
Yeah,
Butt Trumpet. I'm like he didn't say no. That's not good.
Don't tap into this magic, friend Eldred.
No?
No,
I'm holding a pair of tap shoes. No.
no. Well,
Uh,
that's a different type of magic. Dance is its own magic that is special and unique and does not actually jive. Well, it could jive with our magic too, but
Where
not
did you
here.
get those?
Don't question the magic users. Read.
Oh,
We're mysterious
sorry.
and stuff.
They came from where the bunnies came from. Got it.
exactly.
Actually, you know what? That is probably a good assumption. Or
When you're
we've tragically
You
missed,
will-
or if we've been tragically missing a part of Butt Trumpet's backstory. That
Well,
I am
But Trumpet,
Sad
you
to
know
not
that
have
you
learned.
got them with your outfit for the party.
Right, right.
And now that you think back on it, when Butt Trumpet was ever walking about the party, you always heard.
Oh, are those the shoes that are clear with
remember
the
when
fish
we all
floating
did-
in them?
Yeah, remember when we all did the time warp and there was that tap dancing break?
Ah, yes. Time warp again. How can I forget?
Yo!
I think my
Yeah, so
memory
we're
must have
continuing
got
through the
wiped.
forest. This is going. Yeah,
Mm.
no, don't worry about it. He probably ate too much and had a diabetic coma or something.
Someone roll me a 20-sider, please.
I'll do it.
It's either great or terrible. I don't know which. Does a griffin come down and swoop and carry Nikita away?
But Trumpet, what you notice is everyone kind of notices, but you especially, you're the first one to take notice, is those black vines that are beginning to kind of be everywhere are becoming a lot more prominent and almost seeming to take over of things. The other thing you notice is there seems to be a new sort of vine that has entered the picture. This one is a very bright red that always looks wet. And whereas the black ones can be in mass and everything, these red ones are just every now and then you see a single one interweaved with this stuff. And they always look wet, and it's kind of like if you've ever had really bad road rash and that skin was just taken off of you, that bright red, wet looking red underneath. That's what these vines look like.
Ugh, I hate red vines.
If only they were like twizzled around or something like that.
I know, right?
Or edible.
Or edible.
You're
And the other thing you notice after you're like looking at these things going, ugh, is there is a bit of a mist kind of rising up from the ground. So there's a bit of a small layer of fog around the ground.
Oh,
Does it
hell
smell?
no.
Is
And
it
it-
smelly mist?
No,
It's not schist. It's mist.
Yeah.
The normal kind.
Okay.
I know you haven't experienced it in a while, but there is mist that it does not reek.
It smells like regular fog. You know, it has a very faint, kind of very natural smell to it. But it does slow you down a little bit because before you were having to watch where you were going because of all these vines and the gnarled, twisted roots of the trees that seem a lot longer and a lot more entangled than most tree roots that you're familiar with. And the trees also seem they're getting thicker. Not the trees themselves, but the amount of number of trees are getting thicker the further you go into this part of the wood.
I hope we don't get lost in here.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little,
Are you saying we can't get lost, guys?
Through the power of positivity, no.
Oh,
teamwork makes the dream work.
we just got to keep going up, right? Up the incline.
Yes. As long as we continue to follow the incline, we should be good.
Okay.
Okay.
And we'll say as the fog starts to get a little heavier, you can't tell because you don't see any light coming in, but you just feel like you've been traveling a long time, and it might be near the end of the night here. It might be like, it seems like it's getting even darker. I mean, it was pretty dark before in here, but it seems to be even darker now.
Is my stomach telling me about what time it is?
You're starving.
It's got to
you-
be dinner time.
Reed, you really like those berries that Talia turned you on to, but one of the problems has been that since you started entering into the wood, the berries are nice, but the group moving forward won't let you like stand and actually fill up like your helmet or anything with berries. So you have to eat what you can as you went along. And because the only other food you've been having are these rations. And you're used to eating pretty well in the taverns and the inns. And the rations are kind of like They're dry. They'll fill you, but they really have no flavor, or the ones that do have taste like wet cardboard.
Mm.
I don't know if you remember, like 10 years ago, there was this fad of like healthy cookies that you could buy, and all of them taste like cardboard.
Ah, yes, I remember those.
These are very similar to those.
Mm.
And so you're just, you're sustaining yourself, but my God, you wish you could have, you miss bacon, you miss ale, you miss all sorts of good food. I mean, you're on a good mission for the greater good, but
Mm-hmm. Being a hero is hard, though. Gotta make
yeah,
sacrifice.
yeah, it's so you just really would love a nice meal.
I never thought I'd say this, guys, but I think
Yes.
I think I missed the sunny day. Yeah.
Well, it's got its charms. Like its proprietor is the sweetest human being I've ever met, and
And it is stocked with some food.
oh
and
yeah.
ale.
Oh, did I? Wait, hold on.
Oh, can you
Yeah,
make
no,
wine
I
right
meant
now?
to say, I make wine. I just have it. Here, have some.
Okay, I didn't want to. I didn't want to cut into your like stock or whatever.
Stock. Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
we just don't question it. All right,
Okay.
it's just there when we need it, which is always.
Yeah. It helps these rations go down. So.
Oh,
Thank you.
It certainly does. These things are dry as shit.
Eldred says,
God.
and tastes not too far from that, actually.
Oh yes.
Mm.
Well, you would know because you're just constantly spewing it out of your mouth at all times. It seems like.
He takes a big mouth of rations and kind of spit takes as he talks to you face to face and says, "Whatever you mean."
Yes, I can tell that you were raised at least near a barn, but not necessarily in one.
By wolves, he says.
Yes. Mm.
I start to laugh at Eldred. I'm like, guys, this isn't gonna give you any wine now.
Oh no, I can't actually deny anyone wine. It's kind of like legally a rule that I have to.
Really?
If yes, but to a priest of Bacchus denying someone wine, it's literally sacrilegious.
What if your enemies in a fight demand wine
I give them wine.
before you like kill them?
Sure,
Oh. Wow.
it's kind of like a nice thing to do to them for them, right? A little taste of something good, and then
So if we get into a fight
or
again,
blow them up or whatever.
if we get into a fight with a bunch of bad guys, can I tell them to ask you for wine before we kill them?
I mean, God, that's going to be super annoying. I mean, they got to ask and then be willing to accept it in the offer that it is. I just made a rule that's going to really hurt me later on, probably. But yeah, no, fuck it. This is how it works now in the world, and that's how the god makes it work.
I will look for
But
an
yeah.
opportunity.
Listen,
to
I
use
will.
that.
I can hand it over, and then I can be just ready to bop them.
Or you
Hand it over and then bop them.
are you allowed to have them like get distracted and start drinking wine, and then I get them from the behind and with the
Hey, you know what? Not a follower. You're not a follower of Bacchus, so technically you do what the hell you want.
oh, okay.
And Bacchus does approve of making good out of a bad situation, so I'm sure he will look fondly upon that.
We should bring wine to bandits, and then and then we take them out.
It's just get them all drunk and then murder them. Is that what you're
Well, yeah,
proposing?
but they're bandits, so we'd be doing good.
Listen, I'm looking for clarification on your plan here, brother.
Oh, I mean, we'd have to find bandits and all that other stuff, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then get an inordinately large supply of wine.
Hmm.
and just travel around and getting bandits drunk and then murdering them. That is almost serious. There is a true
Oh.
crime. There's a true crime podcast waiting for that to be a thing.
Okay.
Sorry, we went too. Anyway,
Are we going to do the same watch?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. So Gaius will be
Make sure-
first.
Yep.
All right. Someone give me a 20 for the. Someone roll me a 20.
It's a 4.
Okay.
I mean, last time was a
Great.
19. So, yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Reed, take off your headphones. Just Gaius. Gaius, you're on watch.
Mm.
You realize that you haven't heard any animals or seen any animals at all today.
That's not great.
But you have heard the distant cawing of a bird here and there. And it's very still, it's very quiet, with the exception of Nikita snoring. But about midway through your watch, you hear something moving in leaves, or maybe a twig snap.
Mhm.
But because of the mist and the proximity of the trees and everything, you're not exactly sure where it's coming from. You get the feeling it's coming from the other side of the camp.
I guess I'll get up and look into it to see what it might be.
Give me a perception check, please.
18.
You see in the distance what looks like a campfire in the mist through the woods. It's probably about... It looks like a small fire, but it looks like it's probably about 60 to 80 feet away, you would imagine.
Yeah. Not wandering away from the camp alone, because that is just dumb. How late is it into my shift, Paul?
Probably about 2/3 of the way through.
I'm going to just give Reed a nudge. And you know
Reed-
what? Accidentally also kick Butt Trumpet awake, just
Okay.
for convenience purposes. Reed. Oh, shit. Butt Trumpet. Sorry. You were right next to him. You guys see that campfire out in the... Nope, you stay awake. You see that light over there, or am I hallucinating?
Do we?
Neither of you see anything.
Do I still see it, though?
No, it looks like it's been... you don't see it anymore. It looks like maybe it was put out.
It
Okay.
looked,
All right, listen.
It looked
Butt
like a
Trumpet.
campfire.
Sorry for waking you up. All right. Pass this along to Nikita and Eldred. When it's their turns. I thought I saw a campfire. So whatever you do, don't go to investigate things that are too far away.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't wander away. Buddy system.
Buddies.
Okay.
Buddies.
All right,
Bunnies.
rest.
Got it.
Go back to bed.
Alrighty. Wait. Do we have a fire? Do we have a
Yes.
fire going?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just down to coals at this point, but yeah.
No.
Okay.
You were able to kind of find enough, loose...
Yeah. Just
Kindling
feeding it
and stuff
occasionally
to-
to just keep the heat and in case we want to get it up to full burn again. If
Okay.
we need to, for whatever reason. But also,
Okay.
I'm using light. So
So are you putting light on the fire then to keep it bright?
no. Like for example, I could, just saying if I need to, I can use light to light up the area and not use the campfire.
Your watch comes to an end. Who's next?
Reed.
I am.
Okay.
I'm second first. I before I start my shift, I do ask Gaius to point out what direction everything he saw that fire, so I keep a look in that direction.
You keep an eye in that direction, and every now and then you hear what sounds like movement in the underbrush, but it's far enough out of any part of the firelight that you can't see it. But you do occasionally hear something. It sounds like something's moving around.
It sounds like it could be like small animals type thing, or
It sounds a little bigger than that.
I just stay alert.
Okay. Other than that, you don't hear anything or see anything,
Okay.
and your watch is over.
Okay.
So who's next?
Nikita's third, I think.
Okay.
So when I wake up Nikita, I will inform her that guy saw a campfire out in that direction, we think.
Okay.
But it went away pretty quick. So it could have been something else. Who knows?
Okay.
And I keep hearing animals around
Okay.
that might be bigger than just bunnies and squirrels and such. So
Okay.
look out for. And I tell Nikita, look out for snakes. I go lay down.
Before you do that, you just hear, wait, what? What?
Just, if there's snakes, they're sneaky.
There's
and
snakes around here?
I think there might be. I don't know. I didn't see any snakes though.
Kind of looks around and kind of looks at you pleadingly as you go to get into bed and everything, just kind of like sitting there.
It's okay. And I say in the dark, all these vines look like snakes to me. I think there's. Anyway, good night.
Okay. Okay, butt trumpet. Nikita wakes you up and it's your turn and says, I heard things out in the darkness occasionally, but I think that might have been because Reed told me he thinks there are snakes around.
Oh, okay, yeah. He overheard Gaius and Eldred talking about snakes.
Okay, well, other than that, I didn't see anything. Butt trumpet, about midway through your watch, you hear a twig snap out in the darkness.
Hmm.
And then about 10 minutes later, you hear what sounds almost like soft footsteps out in the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And about 15 minutes after that, your watch is finished. It's time to wake up Eldred. Yeah.
Gaius quickly saw a fire in the distance. Don't go toward it. I heard a twig snap and some light footsteps.
Great. Okay. Okay, has anybody seen anything other than this fire?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. You go back and get a little bit more shut-eye, and then it is morning. And everyone gets up. The mist is a lot thicker this morning. It's out and out fog at this point. It's pretty thick, and you guys can go ahead and do your morning stuff and do what you need to do. Reed, what are you doing this morning once you wake up?
I'm eating any berries I got left.
Okay.
I'm assuming in this part of the woods there's no berries, right?
You see berries, but they don't look like any of the ones that Talia told you could eat.
Yeah,
I'm not they don't look like any of the other ones either. They're usually dark and like they don't even look like they'd be safe to eat. They just kind of look ominous.
Yeah. So I finish up whatever berries I had from the day before that are good.
Okay.
And,
you've been snacking on them, so there aren't a lot, but you have a few.
Yeah. And then I will, while I'm waiting for everybody else to get ready, I stand with the horses. Just kind of hold the reins and look around.
You loading your stuff up onto the horses, or?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Give me a perception check, please.
A 15.
Okay. Your pack is missing. It's not where you left it.
Anybody see my pack? Eldred, did you
What?
take my pack?
No, why would I take your pack?
Because you mess around with me?
Have I ever touched your pack before?
No. Is anybody else missing their pack?
Everyone,
Are
give
we?
me a perception check.
10. I don't know if I see anything.
10.
Okay. The two of you, for a brief moment, get a bit of a start, but then you realize that your pack's there. You just Reed kind of got you a little
moron.
panicked.
What the hell?
I go back to where I was sleeping and all that. I start looking all around.
Okay. Give me another perception or investigation check.
11.
You don't see it. You're pretty sure it's gone.
Something took my pack.
Well,
I had my
balls.
blue
What was in
blanket
there?
in it. I had my blue
Did it?
blanket in there.
Was there anything else of value in there? rabbit?
My ex. No, not the rabbit. I mean, I had some other stuff. Like I had a hammer and a crowbar and a tinderbox, and I had a lantern in there.
So something stole your pack. You saw it last night, right?
Yeah.
And nobody saw anything on watch? Anyone notice anything?
No.
Hmm.
I mean, I heard some footsteps. I told Eldred that.
My watch was pretty uneventful. I heard some things out in the darkness too, but I just assumed it was like what Butt Trumpet said they saw or heard.
Did you go and like look to see what was going in the footsteps? Was it like close by or like far away?
It was tough to tell.
That.
Well, okay, then we're gonna have to just be more aware. Keep our stuff close by. Maybe hell, sleep on top of it. Anything of value we don't want to miss. Also, the fact that it was the one place where you had that blue blanket is a thing. Still, well, the blue did not stop Mr. Goodry or Mama Dar from dying horrific deaths. Though only good. Can anyone remember if Goodry's house had blue on it?
I didn't think it did.
Was it part of that blue row, Paul?
You remember distinctly that this is the one of the houses that did not have the blue door, did not have the blue window frames.
Unsettling.
Mamatar's place didn't have it either, right? It was
Right.
I remember
Wood.
specifically she didn't. I was curious about Goodry because they were both in the area of the Geechee, but I got the impression that Mamatar wasn't necessarily, or she was less of the Geechee than the rest of the people. She felt like even if she was Geechee, I got the vibe that she was an outsider, regardless. Well, that is curious that your blue blanket was stolen, Reed. I wonder.
Well, I took the whole pack, so.
Well, yes, that was the only thing that was, like, distinct, though. Unless something really wanted crowbars.
I hope not.
All right. So, all right, word to the wise when you're on watch. Hear a noise, investigate it.
I do take a good long look up, and I want to make sure that it's not like, no vines grabbed it. It's like way up in a tree or something stupid.
A sneaky snake.
All right,
Sneaky
give me an
sneak.
investigation check.
One of them tree snakes stole my pack.
I get to reroll.
Halfling luck.
There you go, 17.
Okay. It takes you a while. You look around, but yeah, your pack's up in a tree about 50 feet up, hanging from a branch, like a stubby branch, upside down, and there's like the crowbar is slipping out of the. It's more and just kind of like hanging there.
Everyone? My pack's up there.
Oh, would you look at that?
I'm gonna go get it.
Don't.
I pull out my jar of spiders. Want some help?
Do I have to eat that?
You do not.
Okay.
Oh.
Do I have?
Oh.
Cool. I
Okay.
boop Reed on the nose to cast spider climb.
Okay.
Did you just crush a spider on my nose?
What?
Don't ask questions.
No. You're going. Your pack's up there.
You got it, bud.
You go up there and you don't even have to find handholds. Your hands and your feet just kind of you get up there and
Spider Reed.
This is awesome. I got like a crushed spider with this. This is awesome.
Gaius, you see Reed go about 3/4 of the way up and then kind of turns himself around so his butt's up and he's facing downwards
Yeah.
and looks at you, waves and says, "This is awesome," and then like turns back around and continues up.
You got it, bud. That lasts for a while, right? I don't want him to just come crashing down to his death.
Oh yeah.
Eldred, you have Featherfall, right? That's what you keep trying to prank him with, right? You have Featherfall in case he takes a
Eldred
tumble.
goes, "Oh wow, that would be a good idea, wouldn't it?"
Oh, fuck.
Does spider climb
Anyway.
allow me to like just put my feet on the tree and like stand sideways, like sticking out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gra-
Yeah. If you want to.
Gravity's still a thing.
Yeah, but this is magic.
How yeah, but how jacked is the muscle system in his body?
Eldred
Like, I get
goes,
spider climb.
"There are jumping spiders."
Oh my God, Eldred.
Stop
What?
trying to kill him.
Why? We like him.
Oh,
Let me get my pack and then I'll try that.
No.
Uh,
Just walking's fine.
This is normal spider
No.
climb, not jumping spider climb.
Oh.
It's also not
Order.
orb weaver spider climb, wolf spider climb. I'm out of spiders. Anyone?
It's just a
Brown
half spider,
recluse.
really.
Black widow spider.
Do I reach my pack?
yes, you do. And what you notice is like part of the flap is open,
Mhm.
and as you're up here, like wedged in with branches, you notice a bunch of your stuff like in some of the wedges in between branches, and like some of the stuff like the lanterns hanging from a stubby, jagged piece of branch that's sticking out. And
Does it look like? Does it kind of look like the branches like grabbed it?
you don't know.
Huh.
It looks like whatever took it got it up here and was going through it looking for stuff, and you notice the blue blanket's kind of just thrown over another branch. Matter of
Alright,
fact, it
I'll
was
start
the blue blanket that caught your eye up there.
All right, I start gathering everything into the pack.
Okay.
Does it look like pretty much everything's probably there or no?
You'd have to take the time to go through everything to kind of catalog whether or not anything's missing. But it looks like pretty much there's a lot of stuff still in there, but the stuff that was taken out seems to be
Most of what I think is missing.
right. And when you were at the base of the tree, you didn't see anything down there.
I put everything I can find into the pack and stick it on my back.
Okay.
Wait, does it smell? The old dude in the inn?
Give me a
just like
perception check.
greasy ass bacon. Oh, sorry, I didn't space that properly. Greasy ass and bacon.
18.
18. It smells a lot like bacon fat that's gone bad.
Okay.
So
That's
normal.
normal. Yeah, that's normal. the amount of times I've put bacon in there. So, all right, and then I climb
So
on
other
down.
than rancid bacon fat, you don't detect any other smells.
I scamper down.
Okay, head first or butt first?
Oh, totally head first.
Yeah.
You got it. Reed
When I get
puts
to-
on the pack and comes back down quicker than he went up.
Oh
When I
my
get down to the
gosh.
bottom, when I get to
Yep.
the bottom, I want to get my hands under the ground and then do like a flip.
And all the shit falls out of his backpack as he does it.
Yeah.
Give me a dexterity check with advantage there.
A 22.
Okay, you get down about 5 feet from the ground, and you stop, you look at your friends, you give them a weird smile, and then you just kind of kick your feet off and land there. Like, you're almost surprised of how well that went. And you kind of look up with this huge smile on your face, like,
All right.
Thank you.
I join in.
Okay, enough of that. Come on.
I was really hoping for the speed to pick up. Wow.
Sorry.
No extra legs, no. I hold
used
up
to
a
have a
piece of
turkey to
paper
do
that
this.
says 10. What? No extra legs, no farting webs? I think I'm getting the hang of my powers.
Ooh.
This is. Wait, those were options?
Was I gonna fart?
Well, they
webs?
were my concerns.
Oh.
That's a waiver you got to sign before you start casting that stuff.
okay, so it looks like you have everything in your pack.
Okay, cool. I cleaned my nose off.
Yeah, you know you didn't need to, like, keep the squish spider on you or anything, right?
No, I could have wiped it off before I went up there.
It all happened so fast.
That's okay.
I mean, magic is a mysterious mistress. You never know. Very fickle.
So just to be safe, I will keep the spider on my nose. next
Yes,
time.
keep meshed
Yeah.
spider bits on you at all times.
Ugh.
As long as I don't have to eat it,
Anyway.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, no, that's when you want the other powers of the spider.
Ooh, what other powers? I don't want to shoot webs out of my butt.
Eldred says
Well,
that's
what's
the
even
best
the point?
part.
Ugh.
I'm not going to eat the spider then, but that's okay.
We can carry on
Okay.
in a general uphill direction.
Okay.
You
It's
can
it's
only
a
go
very
uphill from
very
here.
it's a very gradual uphill. I mean, unless you're paying attention, it almost seems like it's level. It's just a gradual uphill. About midday, the fog kind of seems to just become a very thin mist on the ground. A couple hours later, someone give me a perception check, please.
Oh,
Yes.
do it. Unnatural 20.
The first thing that hits you is kind of a foul smell of rot.
Damn it, Reed.
What? I use those pine needle things again.
Oh, then it's not
Eldred
you.
says
What
you
the
might
hell
want to
is
use a bigger clump of them when you use them then.
that? Yeah. Using to scrape the grease off.
You're,
Anyway.
you're obviously missing something. But you see, Gaius, to the north, light, like almost like a bit of sunlight coming through, but it's not lighting up. It's lighting up a few of these trees. It's in the distance. But what's lighting up is a lot of yellow, like dead grass and dead a lot of dead tall grass. And the smell you're getting is rotting vegetation
Oh
and
shit!
kind of stagnant water that's been
Aha!
sitting for a long time.
Good news, everybody.
It wasn't me.
We found the reeking swamp.
Oh, that's what the smell is. Do
So
we have to
wanna
go
stay
through
away
it?
from that? No,
Oh,
no. We
okay.
specifically were told stay away from the reeking swamp.
So does that mean we went in the wrong direction?
We've been heading uphill, which in theory would take us to the mountains. You know what we can do? Send our spider reed up to climb to the top of the trees and see out through the canopy to give us
Has it been an
an
hour?
orientation.
It's definitely been an hour, so he would
I
need
mean,
it again.
he's an acrobatic young man. He could just climb on his own. But if you feel like using the spell slot, be my guest.
Reed, you look up and there are some trees that you're like, oh, I could climb to the top of that. But the really tall ones that you feel like you would need to get up, they're like, some of them might be 100 feet high.
I mean, we can double up the fun, and I can enhance. We can make him a spider cat, which is horrifying now that I say that out loud. You spider him, I cat's grace him. Reed, don't give you that look. You're going to be even better at what you do already.
Am I gonna have like
I mean,
fur
I'm not gonna lie, this
and
sounds
spider
awesome.
legs?
No. She mashes a spider on your face again, and I just literally cast a spell on you. That
Which gives you
makes
cat
texture.
legs and a tail.
Also stops
Says
you
Albert.
from having fall damage
Oh,
if it's at least 20 feet.
And 9 lives, so if you were to jump off like a
Nope.
jumping spider, you'd
Nah.
be fine.
Nope.
No?
Nope, don't
No.
jump. Ever.
Don't.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
okay.
Oh,
Okay.
obviously
I
I'm
get-
not familiar with that spell. I'm sorry, says Eldred.
I am. Are you a wizard?
No, I'm a meter maid. I just needed a job, so I came along with you.
You know what? That tracks.
Right?
Fuck, I'm so
Butt
glad you
trumpet,
did
hit me.
butt trumpet. Anyway,
Butt-
yeah, let's.
Butt trumpet, squish
Double
it. Put
whammy.
the spider right here this time.
I make it look like
Or
a
does it-
cute little beauty mark.
Okay. And Reed, what do you do?
Skadoosh.
Ignore that.
I turn to Gaius.
Ignore the die
All right.
roll. Ignore
Do
the
that
die
thing.
roll because that's for the one function that's not being used. So I take out a piece of indeterminate fur and just kind of like smack you on the other cheek with it and be like, "You're now graceful like a cat. Enjoy."
I like test it out on the ground.
Eldred's like, what did you just rub on his face?
Indeterminate fur.
Indeterminate fur.
Yeah.
Boy, it boggles
does
the
it-
mind, that one.
Best
I look up
time
I look up at Gaius. What does indeterminate mean?
Could be stout. Nobody cares. Anyway, you now have advantage on dexterity checks and can't take fall damage from 20 feet or less. Enjoy that for the next hour while you spider
Okay.
climb.
All right. High five,
I pick out-
guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's yes. All right, now Top Gun high five.
I choose the highest looking tree and go for it.
Okay. You go up there, and as you're going up, you notice these black vines and even the red vine go like pretty far up, and some of them make it easier to climb up. Some of them you can see are kind of strangling the tree a little bit. But you make it up to where the canopy is, and the canopy's thick. The canopy area where these branches with the vegetation are is probably about 40 to 50 feet thick. And what you notice is the leaves are so dark green as almost to be black. And in amongst these branches and everything, there are even more of these vines, which is kind of just knotting up this thing. And you actually have to kind of try to pull some of these vines apart to get up to the very, very top of the canopy. You finally do, because you don't have to make too big of a hole in it because you're not that big yourself. But you can kind of peek your head up, just kind of latching your legs around the very top of a branch to kind of give you that, staying power with the spider climb spell. But as you're up there, you feel it kind of just swaying in the breeze a little bit. And to the east, you can kind of see the plains. In the distance that you kind of came with the little bits of forest here and there. Mm-hmm. You can see Lake Azure. You can see that too. Okay. This forest seems to go on for quite a distance north and south as far as your eye can see. Although to the north, there seems to be a very large gap in it. It just looks, what you see is just a huge hole in the canopy. That is far longer north-south than it is east-west.
And that's not the swamp, right?
You estimate that's probably roughly where the swamp is.
Oh, okay.
And as you see it, you notice also there seem to be very large hills. They could be classified as mountains, kind of around that area, kind of creating a valley where that hole is.
So beyond the swamp is where I think the hills are.
Well, no, there are whole hills and mountains, actual mountains, popping up in the distance west of you. What you saw is to the north of you.
Okay.
Looking to the west of you, it continues at a gradual incline, but in the far distance, these large black peaks just kind of reach up and go into the clouds. And it's just a line of them going north to south, that it's almost like blocking anything past there.
All right. And the south is where I think we came from?
You came from the east.
I mean, like, right now. Or we definitely came from the east, so that's where I think Forest Grove is?
Yeah, the Forest Grove is to the east of you, yes.
All right, so I do my best to memorize the directions based on where I'm at in the tree here, so that I will try and remember it when I get below the canopy.
Okay.
And then I climb on down.
You make it down there without a problem.
So I do a superhero landing this time with my cat's grease.
Yep, he can do it as long as. Hope that was 20 feet or less.
Give me an acrobatics roll with advantage to see how smooth you are.
I was going to say falls on
18.
Eldred.
18?
18.
You don't nail the landing, but everything else is pretty awesome.
All right.
Like your feet hit the ground and stay put. It's the rest of you that kind of goes, whoa.
You know what? I climb up the tree. I want to try it again.
Okay.
Dang it.
But what? Oh, shit.
Oh.
Whatever. Nope. Do you?
25.
This time you nailed it.
Yes. There we go.
Time's the charm.
There we go.
Second time's the charm. Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's. I have my sitcom button up.
Thank you.
I don't know how long this goes for.
Eldred says, so, what did you see?
So, to the north is what I think I'm seeing, that swamp.
We'll avoid that.
Right. We came from the east, and to the west is the hills.
Okay, excellent. So, swamps to the north, we wanted to, from the directions we were given, reach across the falls, walk straight at the hills. So we know that the hills are to the west if we were coming from the east. So now that we know we have the swamp as a general, we don't want to get close to that. So if we continue to head west, if we keep the slope to our right-hand side and the decline to our left, we'll be heading toward the hills.
That jives with what I think I knew from what I saw up there, right? Yes.
And then every day we just do a double check if we need to make sure we're still heading in the right direction. Because the last thing I want to go is to somewhere that stinks again.
Yeah, if we start going that way, hopefully we'll get away from this swamp.
Well, it's a good olfactory hint that we've gone too far.
Yeah.
Okay, so continue on.
Continue
West.
west.
Gesundheit.
We go.
Thank you. You continue on, and it's getting very tough to ride the horses with all the vines and the roots and the everything.
I guess if that's the case, we'll start leading the horses.
Okay.
That way it just makes it easier for them.
So who's leading the horses? Who's just walking?
I'll walk.
Yeah,
I'll walk.
I'll lead one of the whatever horse I make glow that day. I'm leading it. Today
Or
it's
maybe
Tosh.
maybe Eldred should lead the other. Eldred or Nikita? Who should lead the
Eldred
other?
goes, I'll do it. And Eldred also says, Butt Trump, if you want to ride the one I'm leading, I don't think you would be a problem with riding it. Takes you, lifts you up, puts you on the back, puts up his hand to give you a high five. And you continue on. And it gets thick. The trees are really, really getting close together. The roots are getting really entangled and like actually arching up out of the ground at times. The vines just seem to be strangling everything. The undergrowth, the trees, it's, large masses of these things and vegetation in large walls of them, big clumps of it. You continue on through this, and it's just causing things to be darker and darker. Sometimes you're having to separate a little bit in order to get through because, the trees are in such a way, and in order to make things clear for the horses, you kind of have to get out of their way because you're not 100% sure which way they're going to go. And during one of these times, Guy, as you're leading your pink glowing horse through a patch of trees and vines through the clearest portion, and you see Nikita off on the side kind of going around, trips on a vine kind of into some vegetation, and a big clump of the vegetation raises itself and kind of comes crashing down on Nikita.
Oh, damn.
And you see it like get right on the helmet, and she just kind of drops about a foot and then steps back, and that's where we're going to end this evening.
Bad tree.